Today on the podcast, we have Hanieh Sigari, an entrepreneur, biochemist, anti-aging, industry disruptor, and mom. I love that last title. Her holistic LA skincare brand, Qyral, is the culmination of a lifelong mission to improve lives and increase longevity. She combines her business acumen, bioscience knowledge, and passion for empowering women to be beautiful and financially free. The brand name stems from the word chirality. Did I get that right? All right. A chemistry term for a molecule's mirror image, which is so fascinating. I know we're going to dive into it. The molecules appear identical, but their behavior is completely different, just like a reflection in a mirror. Skincare should be a reflection of you. Each of us is unique. So why do we continue to rely on cookie cutter skincare routines? At Qyral, they're breaking the mold. They treat all of the customers as individuals, and their formulas are personally tailored for everyone. So, honey, that is a mouthful, and I
Oh,
cannot wait to dive in. Congrats on all of your success.
thank you. That was a really beautiful intro. Thank you. Thank
Ooh,
you so
there you
much for that.
go.
Yeah,
You bet. And so we're jumping in today. And first off, I would love for you to tell all of our listeners a little bit about yourself. Start from the beginning. What inspired you? How did you get into the industry?
sure. So my academic background, as you mentioned, is in biology, psychology, biochemistry, but my real passion has always been in the study of aging or gerontology. For since I was a little girl, I could remember just trying to figure out and demystify what causes aging, what's the aging process. So once I got out of school, I really wanted to go in the field of caring for aging individuals. And I did that for many years. I had a very successful home healthcare company. And then after that, we started a e-commerce fulfillment shipping business. So I really got exposed to a variety of different things from, the e-commerce fulfillment logistic world to, healthcare and caring for people. And I loved it all. But once I took some time off after I sold both businesses, I got out and I really wanted to take time off and figure out what's that next thing that I want to do. So went and traveled for 6 to 8 months. And as you know, as a business owner, you really don't get a whole lot of time to travel leisurely. I mean, there's a lot of business trips. So took some time off and figured what would be the ultimate thing I would do next for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It wouldn't feel like work. I could wake up to it and just really be excited. And it incorporates all my passion for aging, the arts, the beauty industry, all of it. And that's really where the conception of Qyral came to be. It's a culmination of all my passions and experiences come together.
That's quite a career, right? Leading up to this newfound love. So kudos to you. What an
Yeah.
endeavor. It seems a bit serial entrepreneurial, if you will, which I'm sure you've heard that term and described yourself that way possibly before.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the brand. Let's dive in. What was it like once you kind of came to that point and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is my next move. How did you start out? Was it just you? Kind of walk me through that process for our listeners out there who might be at the same precipice, but not sure where to start.
Sure. So like I said, I wanted to incorporate, there's certain elements that are non-negotiables, right? I wanted to definitely do something in the field of arts and beauty. I've always
Okay.
loved it and it's been fun. I've loved to take care of myself. I do my makeup every day, no matter how busy I am. And I think a lot of women feel the same way. So I wanted to bring that joy of looking beautiful and feeling great. I wanted to bring some aspects of longevity and the aging process. What I found in my previous career was here we are educating people in their 80s and 90s when they're terminally ill. And it's like, no, it's too late, right?
Mhm.
Aging starts at a very young age. As soon as we're born, we start aging.
Yep.
So that's when we really should start educating people in their 20s and their 30s to make better health decisions and lifestyle decisions. And then when it comes to skincare, the same process is true. We got to start. And I came from the generation of GTL. I don't know if you know Jersey Shore with a gym
Heck
tan
yeah.
laundry. Yeah, I would go into these frying beds and like fry my
Same.
skin. And
Mhm.
but yeah, so you understand. By the time I was 25, I was like, oh my God, I see wrinkles, right? And it's like, what do you do? Well, there's the Botox, there's the laser peels, so diving into that, having experienced it myself, this awakening, like, oh my God, I got to take care of my skin. I thought, what would be the most effective anti-aging product? How can we make anti-aging, the most effective anti-aging available to the masses? And I'm sure the best stuff is really prescription grade or found in a dermatologist's office, or an esthetician can provide that. And so that was another one of efficacy. How can we
Yeah.
make really effective products? How can we educate people on the aging process? How can we empower women, men to be financially independent? I wanted to incorporate that
Okay.
because in my previous career, I had hundreds of CNAs, home health aides, and I was really capped at what I could pay them. And it broke my heart that, they say in America, work hard and you'll achieve your dreams. And I was like, no, these women are working hard. I'm capped with insurance payments and
Yeah.
Medicare, Medicaid reimbursement. So that was another thing. I wanted to create an opportunity for men and women to make infinite amount of income, depending on how hard they work. And the element of beauty, the arts, so come together, and that's where Qyral started. We personalize every single product and ingredient because that's how you get efficacy. And what we do is, so a lot of retinoids are used, like retinoids are amazing for longevity and skin rejuvenation. At the heart and soul of all of our products is a cellular turnover cycle, which is the natural skin cycle that we go through ever since we're babies. When we're born, this process happens every 2 weeks.
Wow.
But as we get older, it could go up to 90 days. In our 50s, this process of pushing new cells to the surface takes place every 90 days. So how do we rejuvenate our skin? We got to turn the cellular turnover cycle up, right? And we can achieve this with retinoids, prescription grade retinoids,
Okay.
because the retinols that are available on the market, by the time they get absorbed and broken down, their efficacy kind of goes away. And then AHEs and BHEs, acids, fantastic for our skin. They're natural. They're from, there's various sources from, bitter almonds to fruit extracts and fruit acids. But the problem with acids I found quickly was that not all acids are made for all skin types. So if you have, for example, oily skin, you're not going to get good penetration with glycolic acid the same way that you would with salicylic acid, for example. And then there's also concentration and pH, how acidic or basic something is, right? So I was like, well, we got to really personalize this. If we want effective anti-aging, we got to personalize it. And that's really at the heart and soul of Qyral. The cellular turnover cycle, and then personalizing products for individuals. And then from there, the next step is really, now that you've shed the top layer of the skin off, how do we help rebuild new cells? Because that's really important. You're almost like burning off a layer, right? To push new cells to the surface. So we've created lab-made bioplacenta growth factors to help rebuild, the fibroblasts and the collagen. And then the third step is really, moisturizing, hydrating, but you got to personalize that too, right? If you have acne prone skin, you're not gonna, you can't do the same thing that you would if you have, mature dry skin. So personalize that. And the last step is a supplement. You got to supplement your body, hydrate it, get sleep, get good supplementation, nutrition. So that's a little
Wow.
in a mouth.
Okay, I can sense the passion, which I love. So if I think about the brand and, I'm on your site, I'm shopping, tell me about, how do you personalize that? Because I see here, the 4 steps personalized regimen. What does that look like? Take me through level 1, 2, 3, and 4. You mentioned the supplement at the end as well, but tell me about the personalization part.
Sure, sure. So what I failed to mention is there's a lot of technology and there's a huge technological component behind our
Okay.
brand. And what I've quickly realized is you get a drop-off rate. If you ask too many questions from consumers, they're like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
And if you have too few questions, you're not going to get the results that you need to formulate. So we have a questionnaire and we've really narrowed it down to the most important questions that we need in order to formulate for you and make sure that we don't, damage your skin or cause any harm. So you log in, it's a short questionnaire. I think it's 6 to 8 questions. And yeah, from there we have all of the data points that we need in order to formulate for you. Now, if we need to go back to you and ask questions, we will. But what's really cool is on the back end, you can log in and you can see exactly how your moisturizer or your serum was formulated for you.
Cool.
But not only that, you could click on each of the ingredients and it'll tell you exactly what it's doing for your skin with an image. And so yeah, educating is really, really important to me. I wanted the consumer to really be educated, make informed decisions. And if it's not with me, if you come to my site, interact with our products, our website, buy nothing, I've done my job, right? So we also have a really cool ingredients page. You can look up pretty much any ingredient and it'll give you the scientific article, the journal article about what that ingredient does in anti-aging and longevity. So
I love that. I mean, your site is super robust. And certainly you've taken a lot of care in the technology aspect, which is so, so important, right? Back to that personalization part. I love the ingredient listing on the site. I've actually never really seen that as robust and detailed and mapped out, ingredient by ingredient. Some skincare brands out there are trying to hide that. Right. Yours is literally front and foremost. So that's super cool. Tell me about the decision to make and integrate technology into the brand at such a high level.
Right. I think it's necessary. The year is now, I mean, when I started this, it was 2019, 2018. It took a while to really bring it all together and put the supply chain together. But I think we're at a point in time where everything is personalized for us, but without us knowing it, right? Your Spotify playlist is based off of your preferences, and the next song that's played is based off of the things that you. So it's like, why is our skincare not doing that? Why are all the personal products that we interact with? And there are definitely some leaders in our industry, like Function of Beauty started this about 8 to 10 years ago. I really admire these brands that are trying to personalize. It's a supply chain headache, I will tell you that, but I do think that the future is leading in that direction, and I want it to be at the beginning of that movement. And also one component of our brand, what I mentioned, was to empower and educate entrepreneurs and women and men, is that I created this. Our go-to-market strategy was a network marketing strategy, and I don't come from this world, so I have no clue. I had heard of Mary Kay and I had heard of Avon, but and to me that was like, oh my God, a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, is that what it is? But as I dove in a little bit, I really found a platform to do a lot of good, because I mentioned educating. You're educating this person, and now they're a voice in their community, right, and their family and so forth. So whereas I think direct to consumer online brands, it's just a one-way transaction most of the time, right? Whereas this, like, you're really building a community, and I love that. So I also didn't see a lot of innovation in that industry at all. Right. I was like, no wonder it gets such a bad rep. They're like just taking off the shelf brands and throwing it out there. And it's the same, and it's been the same old since the days of Amway, so it really needed some shaking up. And I was like, oh my God, opportunity to shake up the beauty industry and the network marketing industry. And it was just a win-win. And the decision came easy. Like, I definitely want to incorporate the technology.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. And how was it sort of getting those first few team members on board and to really educate them to start spreading the message? What was that process like?
Yeah, well, we're still in the process of doing it. I mean, until I'm not a Rodan and Fields at like 1 million reps, right? So right now it's really educating one by one, right? Spreading the message one by one, getting, my tribe of believers that believe not only in me, but the brand, and really understand that you have to personalize. And right now our plan is we've started with skincare because it's so personal, right? If you're going to start with personalized anything, it's, your skincare. And then from there, we're going to do shampoos and soaps, and we're already coming out with our line of cleansers and eye creams and so forth. But I don't really want to stop until I personalize everything that you interact with in your household, from your laundry detergent to your toothpaste. There's so much potential. And another thing that I think, I talk about of efficacy and effectiveness of products. I think there is a place for prescription grade products. Absolutely. There's certain things that AGs, BHs, non-prescription products can't handle. You sometimes do need hydroquinone for certain sunspots and extracts, and no matter what you do, can't help. So yeah, we're gonna incorporate the telehealth aspect in the next year or two, and personalized supplements and nutrition. So big plans.
Geesh, I guess so. Big plans. I love it. What was one of the most integral things that you learned at the start of this process that you could share to others out there that are, hoping to take a dive into the entrepreneurial world as well?
Yeah. So when I started this, actually, I found out I tried to have a baby for almost 8 years. I tried to conceive and I couldn't do it. So right when I exited those two businesses, like, I'm going to take some time off to figure out my next business plan, I found out I was pregnant right at the beginning of it. So
come on,
to find out that you're going to be a mom and starting all over was not an easy feat. But if you have conviction in what you do, and so I also tell a lot of passionate entrepreneurs, like, it's one thing to be passionate the first 6 months, 8 months, but think about 3 years, 5 years, you're running out of money. There's a lot of ups and downs. So be ready, like really, really, really figure out your why. Why are you doing this? Is it for the money? Is it for, like, what is it? And hold on to that why. Have conviction, because it is going to be a really, really difficult ride. And you have to wake up, and a lot of times there's no one, it's not like a job you have to show up to, right? And you have to show up. Like, you don't have to show up here. You should. So what's that thing that's going to get you out of bed every day? Like, love it, be passionate about it, and stick with it no matter what. Because a lot of people, I think, get discouraged when they're close to that last mile. And there's a lot of discouraging moments. So stay passionate and stick with it no matter what. Just show up.
I love that. And I started my first business when I was 5 months pregnant with my first child, and ended up having another as well. So I get that. I mean, you were in the deep, right? And
you're like breastfeeding and you still have to type with one hand.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've got many pictures of, like, the laptop and the baby and the whole deal. That's great. So I guess pivoting a little bit, we're talking about, lots of people use their cosmetics bag, makeup bag to carry around their go-to products. And we've heard through the grapevine that can actually be bad for our health. First, generally, why can our makeup bags be bad for our health?
Yeah. So actually I'm one of those, like, my background science. So I always find journal articles and research articles. So there was an article on a recent study that was done in Applied Biology, the Applied Microbiology Journal. And it said a makeup bag can leave users at risk of skin infections, blood poisoning, and even death in extreme circumstances. And a lot of that is because of the bacteria that's in our makeup bag. Especially the beauty blender. I didn't realize, like, how much bacteria sit on a beauty blender. And most people don't wash their beauty blenders. And it's typically wet, because a lot of ladies like to, like, damp it and then, use their products, and then they leave it. And that just becomes a breeding ground for lots of bacteria. And if you have any open sores, any open wounds, or anything, I mean, your skin is a porous, it's porous, right? It absorbs things, and there's blood vessels right underneath. So a lot of those bacteria, and they're antibiotic resistant a lot of times, right?
Oh, really?
So, like, antibiotics can't even help you with that. So they get absorbed, and they could travel into your bloodstream and cause a lot of health issues. So and then not only that, like, you've got your mascara, you're touching these things, you got your mascara, and that, you're using it on your eyes. There's a lot of open crevices on your skin, right? You can cause infections and so forth. Yeah, I had no idea how bad it could actually be. Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting because you hear the age old, like make sure you're switching out your mascara, every X months or whatever. But do we really do it? I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, I bet you do.
Hmm. No, I don't either. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I think we all are. Because you're using your mascara until it dries out, but there's actually a time
Hmm.
frame. There's that little like jar symbol everybody sees. Those are, I didn't know that either before, endeavoring. And there's a little jar symbol on the back of
Yeah.
all your products. So like
Okay.
this one, for example, has 12M written on it and it's an open jar. That means this is only good for 12 months.
Get
Throw it out.
out.
Oh, yes.
I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Oh yeah, on every product. I mean, it's
Uh,
actually a requirement. Our industry, the cosmetic industry, is not really regulated by the FDA, but there are
uh-huh.
certain things that the FDA requires you to put on labels, and this is one of it. So if it says 12M or 6M, sometimes it says 3M, that means it's only good for that long because
Wow.
bacteria and mold and all these different things can start growing and harvesting inside. So yes, we got to get rid of.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
love that.
For a
You know
long
what?
time, I'm one of those people that's like, oh, it's just a marketing ploy, right?
Right.
But no, it's not, right? There's actually like things that get exposed to air and they start oxidizing or bacteria starts breeding in there now that it's been exposed. So
And
yeah.
what would that look like under a microscope? Right. I mean, we would be shocked. I
Oh
can
yeah,
imagine.
totally. I mean, and there's so many different various types of bacteria, right? But sometimes like even with, I don't know if ladies have experienced like they put lip gloss on and their lips begin to chap after a couple days. Well, that's bacteria that's growing in there, right? There's fungus, there's bacteria, there's all different.
Mm.
So if you start noticing your lip is starting to tingle a little bit, like throw that lip gloss out, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's harder, I guess, to figure that sort of stuff out with mascara until you get an eye
Hmm.
infection. But
Right.
with lip gloss, it's easy to tell. With skincare, you could start feeling really chapped and dry. That's,
Okay.
that's another sign that your product has expired. Um, yeah, and with foundations, obviously they start drying and crackling,
Hmm.
or the oil starts surfacing to the top. It's just
Okay.
at that point, it's not healthy for your skin. Throw it
Got
out.
it.
Yeah.
Got it. Any other skincare tips that you think that we could all be doing better? I mean, of course, sunscreen. Now we're
Mhm.
paying attention to like mold or bacteria within our products or the efficacy or how long until they expire. What are some other common things that we could be doing that we might not even know from a skincare perspective?
Yeah. So there was a lady that I met once and she was 90 years old, looked fabulous. And this is the one tip she gave me, and I never forgot it. She was like, I was like, what do you do? And she was like, don't forget your neck is part of your face, and it's true. So make sure when you moisturize everything, right? Up
Yes.
to your collar and so forth. So I think that's something. Sunscreen, I mean, you said it best.
Hmm.
It's very, very important. Actually, that was the next product I came out with that I
Okay.
thought was super important. It was a primer sunscreen because
Oh,
another thing, like, so dimethicone is the ingredient that's used in foundations to make it that silky, smooth,
hmm.
velvety, you can put it all over and
Hmm.
it looks flawless. Well, dimethicone is a really, really expensive ingredient.
Okay.
So cosmetic companies typically put lower amounts of it. Whereas primers have a high amount of dimethicone, right? And that's
Hmm.
why primers are
Yeah.
very expensive. So I thought, oh my God, combine the two, create this really awesome primer with high levels of dimethicone, which is silicone, a
Huh. Yeah.
natural ingredient, and also include the zinc oxide and titanium oxide to give your skin some sun protection. So very, very important. Protect your skin from sun. And it's never too early to start with an anti-aging, pro-aging, whatever, aging well regimen.
Hmm.
Acids are fantastic if you use a low grade, right?
Okay.
Higher pH, but you can't have it be too high because then it's not effective. But a high pH, low concentration, just do it, and exfoliate.
Okay.
And I'm not a huge fan of physical exfoliants like scrubs because they're a little
Okay.
too abrasive for your skin. And when your
Okay.
skin is, when it's too abrasive, you start producing a lot more oil to compensate for it, right?
Okay.
So not a huge fan of that, but chemical exfoliants, big fan.
Hmm.
and prescription grade retinoids. I've used them since my teens. I love them.
Okay.
But you just have to make sure you wear lots of sunscreen and stay away from the sun, because you could do more damage than good if you don't. Yeah.
No more gym tan laundry.
Those
Just
days are
switching in
gone.
laundry.
I love
Gym.
Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the glory days. I mean,
Yeah.
we were ridiculous with the tanning
Yeah.
bed, but you
Uh,
know, did we know any better? Maybe. Did we care?
yeah.
No, right?
Do they still exist? Are tanning salons still around? You
I don't
think?
know. They
Yeah,
shouldn't be. I
I
mean,
haven't seen them. Yeah.
so now we're going to move into what we call the quick take. So just a couple questions for you and your hot take on them. What is one quote that you love?
Oh yeah, I love this question because I live by this quote and I had to find out the hard way, but sometimes you have to slow down to go faster, right?
So
Sometimes
true.
you're just so busy and you're going, and it's a detriment to your health and you just crash, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
great, you worked so hard for 2 weeks. Now you're not producing, or you're not as effective as you were for the next 2 weeks. So sometimes you just have to slow down, and take a deep breath in order to go faster. I love that.
I like that too, because, especially in the fast-paced entrepreneurial world, it's oftentimes you think the faster and harder I can go, the better, but that's a great reminder.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. What was your last Google search?
It was actually a private island off of Belize. I saw it
Amazing.
somewhere,
Okay.
and I was curious to see how much it is per night. It's 6,500, but you could have up to 20 guests, and it's all inclusive. So that was my last Google search.
That's a good search.
Because I'm looking for places to host events for our consultants. So I thought, oh my God, this would be a fabulous place to have an event. So
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Outside of the tanning bed, what is the cringiest trend you've ever tried?
Oh my God. I cringe thinking about the fact that I tried it. Those hyaluronic air pens, have you seen them?
No. What do they do?
So
And
you
please
put
tell
these
me.
there are these like air syringes, and now I think, thank God, the FDA decided to step in and they're taking them off the market. But anyways, right when they came out, I was like, oh my God, this is cool. So they're supposed to be lip plumpers, and you put like hyaluronic acid inside of it, and then with pressurized air.
Okay.
But what you end up getting are like little blisters and puffs. I mean, it's just the most ridiculous trend out there. Ladies, don't try it.
Don't try it.
Yeah.
It should be off the market.
Yeah,
It's on its way
but
there.
it's still around. And I see them on TikTok and women doing it like, anyway.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Sounds
but I
painful.
tried
I tried it.
It's curious.
Okay. Okay. Shampoo bars, a bar of shampoo. Yes or no in your book?
I've never tried it. But I'd be curious. Have you used them?
I have. It's a no for me because of the lather. I've got to get the lather.
Oh, interesting.
But it's great for our environment, right?
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah, no, I've never tried it, but I'd be curious. I'd be curious to try it. Why not? I try everything. I'm one of those.
Sounds like it. No. What animal are you most like?
I'd say an eagle. Because
okay.
put my eye on something, I'm like, I'm not stopping until I get
Sounds like it. I'll buy that.
Focused on that goal. So eagle.
Got it.
Eagle it is.
2 more. One product that you cannot live without that's not one of yours.
Okay, so I love Dior's Forever foundation. I can't live without that. I've used it for years.
All right.
So that's and a good makeup remover to take it off, because once that baby goes on, it doesn't
not coming off.
But this thing, my hairstylist recently, you're in the I guess you're exposed to a lot of products, but my hairstylist recommended this product and I absolutely love it. It's called K18.
It's all the rage.
Yeah. I love this thing. I thought it was just hype. A lot of products are hype.
It's legit.
This thing, yes, I love it. We hair silky smooth. Love it.
We actually had the founder of K18 on a couple of weeks ago, and really fascinating female entrepreneur story. And they're literally blowing up, just like Olaplex did, however many years ago. Right. So kudos to them. They're doing it.
Right.
Great job. Good model.
Yeah, no, I love it. I thought it was just hype, but
I know, because it's everywhere.
Totally worth every penny. Ladies, get it.
K18, you got it. And
Yeah.
then the last one, what is advice for those who want to make it to the top of our industry?
Sure. So Malcolm Gladwell calls it the 10,000 hour rule. There's a lot of terms for it, but the 10,000 hour rule is really how long something takes to come to fruition. Stick with it. It's going to take a
Yeah.
lot of work. But if you really want it, because people quit, and I think social media has made it so appealing, like
Yeah.
the overnight success, right?
Mhm.
Or my cousin, actually, he's a great example. He was a reporter at CNBC, left and started his own YouTube channel. And after approximately a year, he's doing about $120,000 a month in ad revenue.
Whoa.
And
All
he
right.
just makes
Yeah.
it so easy. And he came out with this article that was like, how to make $120,000 a month. And it's like, what no one sees is all the grueling hard work, effort, years of practice, him in front of a mirror reciting his lines over and over and over, and all the letdowns
Right.
and ups. And, it's like,
Yeah.
don't be fooled by those, get rich quick schemes
Mm-mm.
or overnight successes. There's no such thing. It's all
Yeah.
a lot of hard work, lots of grueling hours. So stick with it no matter what, and you'll get there.
I love it. Stick with it mentality. So
Mhm.
this was such a pleasure to get to know you. Thank you so much. Amazing entrepreneurial story. A definite anti-aging disruptor. So congratulations on all of your
Oh,
success. We will
thank
be cheering
you.
you on from the sidelines.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you both. Thank you.
You bet. And then lastly, for those of our listeners who want to check out the site, where can we find you on the .com, on Instagram? Where can we follow your success and purchase
Absolutely.
products?
Sure. So you can visit Qyral at www.qyral.com. And if you're interested in taking this on as a business, because, we've taken the R&D hassle out of it. There's no inventory to be purchased. So it's really a minimal investment. If anybody is interested in the beauty industry, but doesn't want to spend the years of developing products, you could take this on as a business, 40% commission,
Wow.
and 10% off of your first downline or the person that you recruit under you. So check it out. And if you're interested, you could go to the partner section of our website and enroll. And you could also find us on Instagram with tons of longevity tips and skincare tips and educational videos at Qyral, Qyral.
Love it. Again, thank you so much for your time. Pleasure getting
Thank
to
you.
know you. Yeah,
Oh, thank you for having me. This is
but
fun.
so Jeff, we dug into it, right? I mean, she used a lot of ingredients, a lot of words that I've never heard before. And I love to geek out on the biochemist part of it, talk about passionate about the brand that she's founded and the brand and category of which she's disrupting. So as I mentioned at the top of the pod, I already hit the shop cart purchase button and my customized skincare is en route. I also got that notification. So I'm excited to dive in and try for myself the 4-part skincare line.
Oh,
Maybe I'll
Oh,
send
well,
you
I'm
one. Maybe I'll
jealous.
send you some.
I was
It's
gonna say.
it's really cool. So I'm going to send you the link, buy some skincare.
Mhm.
It walks through all the different skin types. You take this, multiple step questionnaire. And they'll even say formulated for Jeffrey on the bottle. So, I mean, who doesn't love that?
I mean, customization. It's here, and it's so exciting. Cool. Well, we'll make sure to link everything that we possibly can from the interview in the show notes. So check that out.
Check it out. Be sure to hit subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Read the Tease, and send in questions to volumeup@thetease.com.
Volume Up is a Tease Media production. This episode was produced by Monica Hickey and Madeline Hickey. Brian Daly is our editor and audio engineer. Thank you to the creative team for putting together the graphics for this episode.